We would now be handing over the dial to Dr. Brijendra Pateriya, Director, Punjab State Remote Sensing Centre. Dr. Pateriya is a multidisciplinary expert with key interests in applied research in natural sciences, geospatial and ICES technological applications for a wide range of user communities. A versatile and seasoned professional, he has over 3 decades of professional experience, possessing a rich and unique combination of academia, industry, and senior government administrative and management skills.
इससे पीपीटी शेयर करके वो देखो आप लोग
Good morning, all dignitaries, delegates, and participants here in the hall, as well as those who have got chance to join of online also. Before I start my PPT, I would like to share that I am thankful to AGI for considering me to be speaker of today's meeting and giving this opportunity to share my views with all fellow geospatial professionals. Indeed, it is really very warm and happy moment to get together and meet each other and see what over the years and how different operations are performing well. So it is brief about the Punjab apex body of the state and nodal agency of the Punjab state for providing the services and solution, not only just remote sensing, but it's a whole gamut of geospatial arena. We are also the partner institute of ISRO for doing the various research or national mission projects, and also various other national ministries like DST, where we are working together for various innovative and research-based projects. At the state level, we are touching each and every user agency or departments who require the support, data generations, and various other actions for their day-to-day need. Can I have slide, please?
एक ही निकालो मत यार, निकालो मत तो करो वो चल रहा है.
I think we all agree on this particular thing, this conceptualized technologies, which is the one report last year published, and I just shared to remember it to see that how these technologies are growing and moving forward. And in this domain, if something which is very, very important as far as the data collection is concerned, is remote sensing is going to be a pivotal role to have the correct, accurate data. Because unless we have right sets of data available, and not only just one set of data, but it is the multiple sets of data of latest happening on the world. Unless we can cover those aspects, we cannot mention that this geospatial is going to be a vibrant technology. And the user community will be failing of having their rights to get the updated things. Where I think the remote sensing is going to play a big role, and it's playing it already, but I think it's further is going to enhance. So with this awareness, and especially in the government as well as the user community, it is very important. Just like if we see on the Google Maps or the other map where we are using our itinerary and moving from one place to another place, to see that some new road has come up and that road is not updated on the map, then we all will be in a problem. We will move in some other directions. And this is a common phenomena we all can observe and see and experience that this is what happening. So if we need to those infrastructure developments on the happening on any city or village level, this need to be taken care. And for this, I think remote sensing is a big play a big role. Now, how it is going to play a role where different sections of the user community can come together, because now we are hearing in various conferences and say that world has become very small or is connected. So until unless we see that all the elements of the stakeholder community are coming together, we will not make the much progress. And for these reasons, I think it is important that for any economic development, who are the players which are there need to be connected equally. And for this, again, to have a wider perspective, this is what I think that remote sensing is again going to play a big role. Next. And as I mentioned earlier, that data driven, because until unless now data has become a gold mine for all we know, and we agree on this. And for this, if we have the different sets of platforms on the space, whatever we have, because we know this remote sensing is not just having something on the satellite and the space, but we have different section of the platforms, starting from the satellite to airborne to ground-borne to lidar to drone, each and everything. And until unless, including our this mobile and the field-based, mobile-based, smartphone-based data collection systems. Once we bring all these things, then only our systems become a synchronized one and can be useful for the various purposes, especially for the stakeholders who are not much aware of it, how this is going to come. And if we see how we can see the industry is going to move forward and how it is going to impact on our economic growth, then we all are witnessing that increase in number of satellites has contributed to the research initiative. Whatever the research has happened in the past has now bringing the fruits for today's developmental activities. And this is now how we are moving for developing our economy, not just for the India, but as well as for our South Asia and other countries, which the technology which was just available for the developed nations is now available for all the sections of the community. And of course, as we all know that artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques are boon for analyzing data, because as every day we are generating huge size of the data, and this big data analytics are required to be analyzed in a purposeful manner. This we already discussed at the areas which are having the geographic component. And I think these are the few apps. We have about 80% of the utilization of the remote sensing data. There may be some other few more activities are there, but this is the main. Every section is definitely is going to require remote sensing, and for this management, if we really want to make our different service providing agencies to be self-strengthened, then this is what is going to happen. And then only we can make sure that all the agencies or local government agencies can become self-reliant, and the informed planning and inclusive growth. If I am saying so, informed planning today, how much we are aware. To share my own thoughts, that we have heard that smart cities are, but in reality, what is there? A smart city is not going to happen LED lights, not just to make some few parks. Is there our vision? It is the answer we all have. Where things went wrong? Who are the people having things in hands? We are talking so many PM Gati Shakti. Who is doing that and what they are? Who all in this room, are we aware about it? If we say it is a big landmark project for the country, then why we are not waiting enough? Who is going to answer this? And this is where these are the links which are missing. And my urge is that for AGI is the one platform where we have to come together as stakeholders to see mission mode projects which is announced by the government, how the different are going to play their roles. Having a projects announcing by the political policy making system, that's fine, we appreciate. But how many are the citizens, how the funds which has been released, how it is going to released? If suppose we're talking about the PM road, how many roads in the villages has been constructed newly? How many are each and every sarpanch are aware about that in his? Many roads are now constructed and linked with the highways. Why? For all the citizens. I'm not saying that progress has not made, has been there, but not at the level it should. If I, as a remote sensing professional, if I want to say, then if I can say if all my 13,000 villages in Punjab are connected or not. For last so many years we are doing on this project, but today I am not able to say yes. Who is going to answer this? If we really use to monitor it, then definitely the purpose will be solved. Agriculture, our populations, not only India, but worldwide is growing. We have different and challenges to sustainable agriculture models, the conserving water, because the water problem of whole is become a very, very problematic in years to come. Our soil, because our agriculture production is increasing year by year, but our soil health is not improving the way it should be. If without taking care of the water and soil, can we have the sustainable agriculture? How we can ensure that those sustainable goals can be achieved by not taking care of the soil and water? And if really want to take care of it, remote sensing is going to be, play a big role. And this is here the take a role of it. And then it all talks about it, but what is happening? This to share with you that because of this climate change happened in last 2 weeks of the April, the kind of temperatures increased. You must have seen in the media reports that the production of the grain size of the wheat is been reduced. The procurement which are there, and this is the opportunity for the country because of Ukraine-Russia war. We can export too much of good quality of wheat, but this year because of this climate change happened, the temperatures increased, the size, the quality of the wheat grain is not that much. And if we continuously monitor the agriculture things with this climate change, then of course our mitigations measures can be taken timely and we can plan much effectively. This is few I would like to share from all the audience that what Punjab is currently doing, my center is doing for the state. As you know that new government is in place just a couple of months back, and the few important focus currently of the government is one of this agriculture, education, health, then security of course, and employment generations. If we can these 4 or 5 elements really focus and we can monitor it, map and monitor properly, then the purpose will be met. Just having schools by painting with some distempers or the colors, by adding some few more chairs, having some few more computers, can we improve the education quality for the purpose or for the society? I'm not saying it is not required, but what's more is required. As I mentioned, what is the population of each village and at different level from primary to middle to higher. And if really we want to make it, we want to map it and monitor it, is what remote sensing is going to play a role. not computers in these schools existing there. And this is the point that then only if we can educate all the village kids, then our economy will grow. And that is the potential. And to map such huge number of schools, available requirement of the schools of each and every village and that particular level of population is where remote sensing have a big role to play. So in as far as the agriculture farming is concerned, we are monitoring each every health of the vegetation for different, maybe it's Rabi season or Kharif season, or even because we have 3 seasons of crops in Punjab, and we are monitoring. And now with the help of remote sensing data available, because not just for remote sensing data, but across, especially the Sentinel data which are available, are helping us to monitor it very regularly, and not just regional level, but even for the village level. So even the harvesting also, because this why we want to monitor the harvest and poor conditions of vegetation, because if we have a proper understanding of the harvesting, we can plan out for the storing, sending our produce to the mandis, and making other plans, including the logistics, transportation, everything. So this is how it is going to help us. And we are providing such reports or such information beforehand to the government that how this crop is growing, moving, what is their health, and how it is going to harvest it. So that whole planning can be used, can be planned out. And this is how the remote sensing in GIS as a whole geospatial things has going to help us. This is for, as I mentioned, the multi-year crop profile for giving location. Okay. And this particular is now we are moving up to the cadastral level. Yield estimation of each and everything. We have developed our own models, and we are using the referred models also. This is how the estimated rice grain yield for the Ludhiana district and for last 10 years. And this is how the different years of satellite data is helping and working out. And then we can see the year wise how it is going to be changed. Then this for the soil health card. This one is for the locust, because last year hearing that locust attack is going to happen, and though Punjab is not much affected, but bordering the Rajasthan are having, and we are working on these things. Then flood disaster management is another important, and we are earlier it was not there, but for last 3-4 years we are continuously monitoring, because 3 years back we were having the Ghaggar breach, and lot of crop and distress was there. But since then we are regularly monitoring to improvise on the water, groundwater especially. We are also mapping on the paleo channels. Then for the rehabilitation purpose, because if anything is happening on the flood side or any other disaster, then we are also going up to the village level to see the different features and where are the things are going to impact it, can be monitored and checked. And this is again where the remote sensing is going to play a big role. Of course, I am not going to touch upon the water source. So many people have spoken about that. In this region, we have problems, and this is the land resource management where various states are there, and Punjab, and we have covered all, not only the village, but for the urban also different. We are going up to the cadastral level, and each and every feature information can be now available. This data is already available with the housing development websites. Another like PM Gati Shakti we are talking, because to make the integrated plans, we are having the industries and to be mapped and to see the how the different industries are going to come, new industries basically. And also the for the local government to see the how their revenue can be generated. Earlier when we are doing this Ludhiana municipal corporations, only 90,000 properties tax was collected, and once after we mapped it, it was 430,000 properties are there. And after, if we can remove some of the small properties for which we are not going to collect the tax, still there are 3-4-fold of revenue loss was there, which is now able to think. And that is the reason this was among the first 20 cities on the smart cities programs. Health, as the focus is especially on the health, and in health that we are already mapped all the health institutions from primary, secondary, city level, town planning, and what are the many patients can be served. All these things are still going on. Another to whom we are working for the society, and so that who are the social sections are there, for that what kind of support we are providing through the government can be monitored and mapped. And we already discussed this stubble fire warning. PRSC is one of the pioneer state in the country who has initiated the studies from since 2014, and now we are making to the national level also to make a synchronized data sharing mechanism. And this we are providing not only just having this thing, but also the different statistical model to take a decision at the different level, including from the patwaris at the village level to the chief secretary at the helm of the head of the state, to see these things. And then also the land wetland mapping. Until unless we save our environment, especially the wetlands, it will not serve the purpose, because as we discuss about the challenge of the climate and other environmental parameters, these are very important we are monitoring regularly from different temporal seasons, which is other important factors of the remote sensing, that not only just spatial or different resolutions, but this is every time for which purpose application we need, which kind of data need to be required to be mapped. And this is how we are temporal wetland ecosystems are changing, and is going to play a big role for the preserving the environment properly. Not only this, the another important factor, as I mentioned, some innovation and the program which are directly impacting to the society. Like this is the Satluj River. We have mapped each and every section of the Satluj River, which are where how much pollution is there. And this is there we know that from industrial waste, from the city waste, from the other factors which are impacting, are disturbing the whole ecosystem of the rivers, which this is one study which we have done using from the DST project, and which was quite well appreciated. And at the end, I only say that high quality remote sensing data powers effective decision making and effective policy making, thereby improving the land, which is the economic factor. If our citizens are empowered, then the economy is developing. And with the geospatial, it is possible to increase tax revenues, valuation and ownership data, because now new small satellites are going to play a big role. Lot of new startups, lot of new companies are coming up with for small satellites. And I'm sure where the day will come that just like we have Aadhaar, we can have one more single identity from which our own assets and sources can be linked together. And this is going to be possible if we use various data available through the remote sensing mechanism. And if once we have the enable technologies like drones and AI, which can going to leap forward for their development. And this requires government to invest in geospatial information, serve the citizen, as my previous speakers mentioned, that for next few couple of decades, if government really focus on this, it will helpful for us as helpful for our citizens. Thank you. And once again, I thanks AGI for giving this opportunity. Thanks.